But first, the cleanup continues after yesterday's big snowstorm. Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Western Mass News at 6. I'm Pisano. We have team coverage for you tonight. Let's start things off with First Warning meteorologist Janna Brown for a quick check of the forecast. Janna, how much more snow can we expect to see later in the week?
Well, Chris, as far as the next 2 days, as we're still dealing with the lingering upper level low, if you live in Berkshire County, especially the western slopes, you might pick up another 1 or 2 inches tonight, but we're expecting that advisory to be taken down just after midnight. The Pioneer Valley is done with snow accumulation through at least Wednesday and possibly even through the end of the week, even though we do have a little bit more snow coming in for Friday, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Some snow showers still impacting Berkshire County tonight, though, and that's something we're going to see on and off as we continue into Wednesday. So the big upper level low continues to spin. We've got a lot of the heavier precip now well off to our north as the actual nor'easter continues moving away. Temperatures are still above freezing, so things did melt a little bit out there today. Wind is out of the north at 10 miles an hour, so it's feeling colder. Wind chills currently in the 20s for most. And temperatures are there in the Berkshires. We're still hovering just above freezing in the Pioneer Valley, but temperatures will continue to slowly drop back down below 32 degrees as we continue throughout tonight. So we'll eventually be getting back into the 20s by midnight, and tomorrow morning we'll start off mid-20s in most spots. Cold, cloudy, brisk, very similar to today with less snowflakes on tap. Might have a few flurries around throughout the day tomorrow, but overall it's just looking very similar to today. Kind of dreary looking, temperatures close to freezing. More sunshine is on tap for Thursday, but a little rain and snow comes in to end the week. More on that in just a bit. Chris?
Janna, thanks. When it comes to clearing off the streets after a major snowstorm like the one yesterday, it takes time. And side streets many times don't get as much attention as the main roads. But for one Springfield neighborhood, that wasn't the case this time around. Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis is live on Malibu Drive with more. Leon?
Chris, here on Malibu Drive, there's still snow in this street. But the thing is, people who live in this neighborhood say the city's plowing job was surprisingly good.
I think they did a wonderful job last evening and early this morning. I've seen it worse in the past, but this is pretty good for us.
John Condon, a Springfield resident who lives on Malibu Drive, reacting to the way his street was cleaned up after the second major snowstorm of the season hit the region on Monday. When he was outside clearing his driveway on Tuesday, there was still snow on Malibu Drive, but he wasn't complaining.
You can't get it all up, especially this wet, sticky snow. What I've seen is that once the tires go over it and they push it down, it freezes, and that's why you can't get it all up.
Western Mass News checked the progress of Springfield's snow cleaning operation. Around 5 this morning, the Department of Public Works snow map showed the city was 76% plowed. The highlighted yellow circle were places that still needed some work. Malibu Drive is in the bottom right-hand corner. But even so, Condon says he's seen even worse conditions on Malibu Drive after snowstorms in the past.
There'd probably only be one path down the center of the road, and it would be covered with snow. That's what you get. It would just be passable. That would be the worst type of snow plowing I've seen, or no snow plowing.
Taking a look at Springfield's DPW snow cleanup operation, and it looks like that is 76 complete. Now that's still as of 5 a.m. this morning, so it looks like the city hasn't updated their Springfield cleanup snow operation. Live in Springfield, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
Leon, thank you for that live report. And we continue with our team coverage with Western Mass News reporter Lindsay Kane. She joins us live in Springfield with one cleanup effort that's still underway in many cities and towns. Lindsay?
Chris, luckily on this street, all fire hydrants are shoveled out like this one right over here. Fire departments across Western Mass tell me every fire hydrant should look just like this one as soon as possible. The Springfield Fire Department is busy working on clearing the snow away from the 6,718 fire hydrants across the city. Firefighters set out with shovels in hand to make sure if there is a fire, they won't be wasting time digging out a fire hydrant.
Any help we can get from the citizens of Springfield removing the snow around the hydrants helps us immensely. So we need the hydrants cleared out so we can establish a water supply if there is a fire in the neighborhood.
Captain Pamonti tells Western Mass News you could be fined up to $100 if you are physically able to clear a path but choose not to. Over in West Springfield, firefighters also working on making sure fire hydrants are accessible across town. encouraging residents to help shovel a 3-foot area around a hydrant as well as the city of Chicopee. Captain Pamonti says every second is crucial when fighting a fire, and if they have to spend time digging out a fire hydrant, well, that's time they can't get back. Live in Springfield, Lindsay Kane, Western Mass News.
Great information there, Lindsay. Thank you for that live report. And for the latest on the cleanup efforts around Western Mass, an update to a list of closings and delays, as well as the latest on your forecast, be sure you have our free Western Mass News streaming app. And Western Mass News is digging deeper into why a number of Holyoke City officials that include the police chief are leaving their jobs. These officials mostly work in City Hall in both appointed and elected positions. But how can residents be assured their city will run smoothly during this transition? Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo is getting answers.
4 Holyoke City officials have announced that they're leaving their jobs or have already left. This all happening within roughly 2 months' time. Police Chief Manny Febo announcing he will retire in July after completing a 3-year contract. Sandra Smith recently announced she's resigning as city treasurer, an elected position. City planner Marcos Marrero also resigned recently, along with the mayor's chief of staff, Mike Bloomberg. Mayor Alex Morse, who has announced he will not seek re-election in November, says this is the normal course of politics.
With any transition in administration, I think people start to think about their own futures and transitioning into either retirement or into other employment opportunities.
Morse says for some, the decision followed along those lines.
Our planning and economic development director has worked for the city for the past 9 years and recently decided to transition out of City Hall.
For Sandra Smith, Morse says her early resignation from her elected term follows challenges during her tenure.
You know, being the victim of a $10,000 scam in which the city lost $10,000.
Mayor Morse insisting that this large number of resignations and retirements really represents a changing of the tides when it comes to him leaving office this coming November. We wanted to speak with the city councilor on the timing of some of these announcements.
It's not common, but this is the first time we've had a 4-year mayoral term.
City Councilor Terrence Murphy tells Western Mass News because of the extended term, he believes the mayor's announcement that he wouldn't run again gave other city officials a chance to consider their own futures. But Murphy wants to assure residents the city will continue to run smoothly. The police chief will be replaced by Captain David Pratt. The planning director role has already been filled by former state rep Aaron Vega. And as for a new treasurer to fill the rest of Smith's term,
We'll be appointing a new treasurer.
Morse also says residents can be assured that city services will continue seamlessly into the next mayor's term.
And that was Audrey Russo reporting. Northampton police say one of their own is recovering after 2 surgeries following a crash Saturday night on Rocky Hill Road. Police tell Western Mass News Officer Matthew Knowlton remains in good spirits while in the hospital. They say Knowlton spotted a car going 70 miles an hour in a 35-mile-per-hour zone, which then crossed the yellow lines, and you see his cruiser there, slammed into it as he attempted to avoid the crash. Knowlton suffered a broken leg, but cut himself out of his seatbelt, climbed out of the driver's side window to help the other driver, who suffered serious injuries. The crash remains under investigation. Taking a quick look now at the latest coronavirus numbers in the state over the last 2 weeks. The Mass Department of Public Health reporting nearly 2,000 new cases today. So that brings the total number of confirmed cases in the Bay State to more than 502,000. More than 67,000 of those are believed to currently be active. And the state also reporting 45 new deaths from the virus. The statewide death toll now stands at more than 14,300.